You might even have used one. Self-storage buildings springing up everywhere. Their numbers are increasing by as much as 15% a year.
And they're growing popularity not just because people's houses aren't big enough for all their belongings. There's something else too. Breakfast Sarah Campbell is in Bristol to explain. Morning, Sarah.
Morning. Hello, good morning to you. You know, it's really only in the last 10 years that the number of these places has really started to increase, and the BBC Breakfast mathematicians have had their calculators out, and we've worked out that there's enough storage space equivalent to 34,000 average-sized new-build homes. That's lots of extra rooms to fill, and people are being increasingly creative in how they choose to use them.
An old sorting office, a munitions factory and a former car plant, all now part of a growing network of storage facilities. Inside, endless corridors, and behind the garishly coloured doors, a snapshot of modern living. 23-year-old dance teacher Aideen spends up to 4 hours a day in her makeshift studio. She'll even bring her students for lessons.
I couldn't swing a cat to my flat, never mind practicing what I need to do, so like, you know, it works for me, and it's like it's an extension to my bedroom.
Ria doesn't have a bedroom as she's staying with friends whilst looking for a job. For £90 a month, she has a large wardrobe and even a dressing room of sorts.
It's been really, really handy because, I mean, I'm a bit of a shopaholic, so it means I can keep as much stuff in London as I want, really. I can sort of fill it up to the brim without taking up space in my friend's apartment.
The first storage facility opened in the UK in 1980, and there are now 750 of them. That means people have approximately 28 million square feet of space in which to store their stuff, and it'll cost an average of between £10 and £50 per week, depending on the size of the room.
More and more people are becoming lifestyle users of storage, so that they discovered it for a temporary requirement at a point in time, then felt that it was very useful accessory to have, rather than perhaps having a bigger property. They can have that spare room in a self-storage facility.
Useful too for an increasing number of businesses. Quirky card designers Kate and Claire were attracted by the £500 a month rent, which includes business rates but not running water.
The disadvantage is, one, that we have to walk half a mile to fill up our kettle, toilets that have been in need of modernisation for at least 20 years. But overall, we make it work, we're flexible, and we are delighted to be in this environment.
It may not be Abbey Road, but at £700 a month, this is a lot cheaper than a recording studio.
We came to be here because we needed a place that we wouldn't get complaints, somewhere we could literally spend a year just being loud and getting our sound right without having angry neighbours knocking on the door.
Which we had before.
Recording studios are still rare, but a lack of space generally is creating a market which these brightly coloured boxes are all too ready to fill.
And who knew what was going on behind those yellow doors? Well, those are some interesting uses of space, but the majority remain being used for domestic reasons. And with me is Jamie Breese, who's a space-saving expert.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yes, so it's domestic use. So what's changed? Why do we suddenly need all this extra storage?
Well, self-storage is actually a relatively new phenomenon. I mean, the first unit appeared in the UK back in 1980, and the States are way ahead of us, as per usual. But the reasons for this are numerous, and there's many things. You know, we like to declutter. There's lots of shows about declutter, which I know about, of course. But also, you know, we're a nation of hoarders, and we like to accumulate stuff.
But do we need to? I mean, look behind you. We've got, this is two people moving in together. They've got two of everything. 3 Christmas tree stands.
I know, we just spotted that one. That's kind of quite outrageous. That's a little bit of a hoarder in the making. Though it's a little bit tidier than some of the houses I've been to in the UK. And don't forget, of course, we're living in smaller and smaller spaces. In fact, the UK, according to some recent research we did on BBC Breakfast a few months ago, we know that we have the smallest rooms in the whole of Western Europe. I think Denmark's got the most space. So people have to live a more streamlined life. And of course, you know, from a sociological point of view, we've got, you know, no such thing as a job or a career for life. We need to be more mobile and nimble. And also a relationship for life. I hate to say it, but less people are living together. So, you know, storage is not a bad thing. It gives you space and flexibility. OK, Jamie, we're going to get some tips from you a little bit later on in the programme about how we can declutter our lives and maybe not use quite so much storage. It's quite amazing, isn't it? 28 million square feet of storage at the moment. And the industry tells us that the demand is such that many more of these huge, probably yellow buildings will be springing up on a corner near you soon. Back to you.
Thanks very much. I think I want one, actually.
I want a space-saving expert is what I need. Come round to my house.